When I let something like an off-planet being or a being that I'm like, whoa, one of your guides is from off-planet, let me go there. I might give a really quirky look because holding their energy might be is vastly different than holding angelic energy. Let me just put it that way.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
So Amanda from Florida. Hi, Constance. Thank you for your content. It's so very helpful. You're very welcome, Amanda. I have had a few experiences recently that cannot be explained, very bizarre, but I am not in fear, which I feel like should be. But I'm glad you're not, which makes you should go into that. Like, oh, it's because you trust. I can feel it already. I have recently spoken to a psychic medium who is also an angelic and galactic channeler. She told me it was an ET encounter. Extraterrestrial encounter. I am all new to this and want to make sure I am not being scammed, as she is regularly $250 an hour. Due to my financial situation, she is going to give me a discount, but eventually I will need to pay the full price. How do I maneuver my situation to ensure I am getting the right help? Thank you for your time, Amanda. Well, I used to charge when I did reads in person or over the phone or remotely on Zoom or whatever. I was $200 an hour. That was a while ago. I think the most important thing is if you're asking me, that's like a whoop, 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 caution. So maybe you don't trust it. How did it feel when she told you it was an ET encounter? Did that resonate with you? Did it not resonate with you? Were you like, is it something that you're interested in, intrigued by, okay with? I think you have to look at your filters of what ET encounters might seem like, because old school was, might have been more scary or odd or weird, but now anymore, think about the Star Wars bar where they're all like chatting, hanging around, and it's just different, but it's also different frequencies of vibration. I know friends of mine that I'm like, oh wow, you are not from this planet. You are not from this planet. And that's okay, because you're here to learn or collect information or teach new things and all that stuff. So I don't know how many people are really from Earth as their, foremost first planet. But I think that you could consider, how do you feel about having one of your guides be an off-planet being? What does that feel like? And does that resonate with you, Amanda? Also, what I would do is I would check Google reviews on this person, this galactic angelic channeler. Those are two wildly different frequencies. Angelic is not galactic. And so I would be curious as to the style of information and who they're channeling in those moments. Very, very different frequencies. So I'm not disparaging them. I'm just saying I understand why you're concerned. So I would look at Google reviews on the person or Facebook reviews, and I would ask them if the reading includes an audio recording, because that will tell you if they're worth their salt. If they stand by their words enough that they're okay with being recorded. I didn't want anyone to have a video recording of my words, but I always audio recorded and sent them an MP3 file. I just didn't want them to have, I want to have control over my curls and the distribution of my image, right? And when I channel, like when I let something like an off-planet being or a being that I'm like, whoa, one of your guides is from off-planet, let me go there. I might give a really quirky look because holding their energy might be is vastly different than holding angelic energy. Let me just put it that way. Or hearing from, your Uncle Sam or whatnot. So I think that it's important that someone, but I would always give audio recordings, because there's no way when this stuff comes in, it's fast usually. Like when I give information, I was like, there's no way you can take notes fast enough. Take notes in case the recording doesn't hold, but it's fast. So ask them if they do a recording, because that will mean that they stand behind their work so much. They are on it. Ask if you can't afford the $250 and you're feeling like, how does it feel? How does it feel? Clear sentiment and clear sensation. Does it feel like, ooh, I put yourself in the reading with them and go, oh, this feels right in my heart, or this feels yucky, or, how does it feel to you? Use your psychic spidey senses to know, do I even want to enter into a relationship? Let alone do I trust them, but do I want to enter into a vibrational space with them? Ask them if they would do a 30-minute reading, so it's less money. Hey, I want to tell you about my book, Some Dogs Talk. It teaches animal communication among the pages of paranormal, non-creepy fiction. But the stories of animal communication are actually based on a lot of personal experiences that I went through. It is designed to help the reader navigate their own experiences of all the different ways that we can communicate, not just with animals and our furry friends, but with others. I think you'll enjoy it.
Get your copy today.
And sometimes for someone doing a reading, the first part is like kind of getting into the energy frequency. But I've done 30-minute reads. I did kitchen table tarot to teenagers or people that were, 18 or whatever. But usually it was teenagers that wanted to get, because they were just like, I'm 16, but can I? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll do a tarot reading back in the day. And so, you can get a lot in 30 minutes too. So maybe they can give a 30-minute if you're interested still. But also too, does this woman, when they said that, and not only just the information that they relayed, but also when you were in their presence, is it an uplifting presence? Do you feel like, wow, this person, I feel like I could trust or talk to? And so it's really recognizing what was your take on her vibe, right? And then if the words of an AT encounter resonated with you. So right now, I'm actually doing a little dip into your energy field, Amanda, to see if it always I would be the teacher that says, you sit with your guides. Because if they're willing to talk to her, because Amanda, she shouldn't talk to, how do I say this? When I used to do reads for people, I would tune into their guides. I wouldn't use my guides as a medium for me to get medium, like to deliver messages. I wouldn't do this four-way conversation. I would surround myself with angels and light, but I would go to their guides. If they had a guide, I would go, okay, who's around them? Oh, they want to talk. Here's the deal. They want to talk about what recently happened, Amanda, these experiences, blah, blah, blah. And so if she can talk to them, so can you. And yes, you're thinking, oh, but that's a skill set. And she's had all these years of experience. Well, if they really want to connect with you and talk to you, then they're going to talk to you directly. So do I trust her? The spirit's not letting me say. They're saying, what do you think, Amanda? Which is always good, right? It's always good. So those are the things I do. Check the Google reviews and Facebook reviews and, what was your vibe and what do you think? And will she record? And then pull back and sit with that a while. Give me a sign. My guides, angels, this is you talking, Amanda. Give me a sign that this is the person I should go to and get a reading from and that it'll be fine. And then also say to your angels, listen, I really want direction on what's happening here. So I'd like to be connected to you talking, Amanda. I'd like to be connected to my own high level guides that can come forward and give me information and direction on these experiences that have been happening because I know that they're happening for a reason. I know I'm ready. I know the force fields are opening up and I've come to do great work. This is you, Amanda, but I need assistance because it's not good to just airdrop these experiences on me. I need to comprehend them. And so asking to be connected to your highest being that can ground you in truth of the experience so that you can learn from it all would be my suggested move, of course. But again, if you're feeling like, I'll try it. But it sounds the concern is the $250 an hour. That's why the Google reviews in regards to scam, not scam. And if she records and gives you the recording. I would have people say, oh my gosh, I still listen to your recording and some of the stuff I was like, no, that's not right. What is Constance saying? And then, oh my gosh, a couple of years later, there it came. I said, yeah, because Spirit knows that you're never coming back or I'm not going to, maybe I'll stop working before you can get back to me. So yeah, a lot of times I was like, listen, this information, I'd get it in advance of the read. I'd say, listen to them. I'm getting this information is good for 3 months, 3 years. So I'm going to give you advanced information coming through here. Because sometimes people, they weren't on board with what they were hearing because it was life-changing stuff and they weren't ready, but it took a few years for them to be ready. And then the magic started happening. So that was always interesting. So I just want to remind you that if you like my content, definitely subscribe. And if you become a member, that would be great. I have all sorts of different tiers for good financial reasons, but nothing I don't think extravagant. Unless you've got buku bucks and want to join for $500 a month to help support the content, that would be cool. I would not say no. But please, definitely you can share. Subscribe is easy peasy, right? And share my lessons, share the video links or the whatnot and everything. And definitely you can get my newsletter through constancemessmer.com. I put out a monthly newsletter. And you can certainly connect here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That's great. And LinkedIn. I give a lot of great content out on LinkedIn too. Hey, Constance Messmer here. I just want to do a shout out of big thanks to all the members. I am so grateful. And all the people dropping in and giving little donations here and there and super thanks and all that stuff. I really appreciate you. You members and you people contributing and subscribers are what helped me bring this content to everyone, really. They both contribute to the cost of production, and I am definitely grateful for that. This stuff is not cheap to put out. Oh my God. Oh my God. So every little bit helps. And I am filled with gratitude that you're stepping up. I am not necessarily a joiner, not usually, but there are environmental issues and other organizations that I do belong to and I contribute to because I like to see them persevere. And I'm hoping you feel the same about this work. I hope you put it into practice in your life. That's another way that you could spread this work and help change our world, which is what I think it ultimately does. As you know, I think if everyone tuned into their soul senses, the world would be a much better place. So when you subscribe, it's a big yes vote for the content, and it helps spread the work across the planet. So when you put the lessons into practice and subscribe and like and share, you help me help you carry the lesson beyond you and me. And I am just really grateful. Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.